Feeling sluggish from all the extra food, drinks, and celebrations? Kick off the new year with a science-backed reset. Quicksilver Scientific's Push Catch Liver Detox is a patented, simple two-step system that supports your liver, gut, and whole body detoxification, helping clear out what's slowing you down so you feel energized for the year ahead. It's more than a cleanse. Quicksilver Scientific's Push Catch Liver Detox helps reset your system. Get 10% off and free shipping at tryqs.com/podcast. Again, that's tryqs.com/podcast for 10% off and free shipping. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
After the holidays, there's so much to clean up and get ready for the coming year. This leaves me exhausted and a lot of things falling off my to-do list. It's time to lock in, and Omaha Steaks delivers everything you crave to reset after the holidays. An order from them means having high-quality Omaha steaks on hand at all times. I'm a big meat lover myself, and I always go with medium rare. But there's also plenty of poultry and other options available. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. A family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code YUM at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code YUM. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to www.omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And use promo code YUM at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. Thanks to Omaha Steaks for sponsoring us.
Welcome to Altar Call MAFS. I am your host, Tane, here to talk to you today about the Love is Blind reunion. And with me is Brian from Maps Virgin. Hello, Brian.
What up? This was, boy, good reunion. Weird season. real up and down with like quality and bad episodes, but this was a fun reunion, I think.
Is it a good reunion?
Dramatic. a lot of yelling.
We're gonna talk about it. But before we go, this is my last recording for the year. Knock on wood. I am forcing myself. Brian told me I can do it, so I can.
Stay strong.
This is my last recording for the year, you guys. Thank you for rocking with me all year. There will be one more episode of Couples Therapy, but that's already been recorded. So that should come out, I think, sometime this week or next week. I don't know. The year's running by. But Couples Therapy is out, the last episode, and it's on the main feed. So the final one will be out next week. We, like I always say, let us know what you would like us to cover, but we've been given a gift. We're continuing the globe. It is Love is Blind Germany. So Love is Blind Germany is coming out January 8th. So as always, we are going to cover that. I watched the first season. I wasn't high on it, but then in hindsight, I was looking back at it and I was like, wait, a lot did happen in Germany.
A lot happened. The problem for me with the German season was the breakups were all too like reasonable. Like every time a couple broke up, it's like, yeah, this isn't really working for us, is it? No, it's not. Okay, we should probably break up. You should probably go back to Munich. I'll go to Berlin. Which is like, well, hold on. Like, why aren't you guys yelling at each other? No one is crying. It's like, yeah, no, we tried hard, but it's not working out.
My problem with Germany was they just did not seem happy. There was not a lot of like, at least with Italy, there's a lot of drama, a lot of fighting, but we had that one bright spot, with Alessandra and Yoni. But with Germany, everyone just seemed upset that they were there. And it was like, you signed up for this. We didn't ask you to. But the trailer looks a little, well, I stopped because I don't watch trailers, but I think it came on, but it looked interesting. So either way, we will cover it. And even if you don't want to watch it, we'll watch it so you don't have to. So
that's right.
Come on back next year, and Love is Blind Germany is what we'll cover next. So also patreon.com/AltarCallMAFS. If you want to give a gift to a friend, feel free. The challenge reunion with Jason is up. We covered the season 41 over there. It's free for everyone. As long as you're a free member on Patreon, you can have access to it and you can listen to it, because you guys know I could talk about the challenge all day. Next week, you will have some episodes, but it's going to be a republish of Traders episodes because the episode is coming back. the season is coming back, sorry. And I'm just going to post the episode with Brian Scally from Free Agents, where we talk about each of the cast members, what we know about them, what we expect, and then we share who we want to be traders. And also let me know who you want to be traders. And the episode with Jason, where we talk about MAF's cast members that we would like to see on traders. So, other than that, make sure you have a good holiday. Make sure you find some joy any way that you can and stay away from toxic family members. That's what
Do
I
your best.
do your best because it's not always easy. But
Right.
yeah. Okay. So this reunion, it wasn't bad, but we were getting like early seasons cliches in that the hosts were too involved. Why am I
Very.
hearing you so much? Nobody asked for your advice. We don't want to relate to your marriage. You're here to be your
No,
figurehead and say nice, good. Ask the questions. A lot of the questions I wanted were not asked.
that's true.
Don't know if it's a culture thing where it's like, no, or it's a love is blind thing. Actually, they do it in the
It
US.
could be.
We don't get into the muck of the dirt. We just ask surface and then say, okay, all the best. Thanks. Bye.
Well, we have to
So,
have a full 2 minute montage of Giovanni talking to him we've never seen before. So it's
yeah.
important for us to have that.
Yeah. So it was not as satisfying, but I don't know. I don't know. But let's get into
Yeah.
it. Nah, the way they do their entrance was very interesting. There's a
Weird.
couch, there's a spotlight. We see all the empty chairs. The hosts are not even sitting on it. And then what happens? All the participants that coming in and they sit wherever they want. Okay, it's not wherever they want. I'm sure production told them where to sit.
It was unclear because I'm just like, are y'all just picking where you want it? There's a
That's
blue pillow and a pink for each. Is it supposed to be like couple? It was very confusing. I needed a producer to like usher them to where they should be sitting.
some couples, sat together, some didn't sit together, and it was all that. And then Giovanni showing up as Lord Lugard. Like, I
No,
don't
he's
know
the
what
little drummer boy.
century. Yeah, whichever one.
No, he's
Ugh.
Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance in the Black Parade video. That's what you're dressed like. It's ridiculous.
And he really thinks he's doing the damn thing, and he doesn't know. He looks so stupid.
Hmm.
Parmy came in with no hair. My wishes were not granted. When Karen comes in looking like a goddess, she sits beside Nicola. But if you sit beside the person you said yes to and you say, and Nicola is like, how are you? And you're like, oh, I'm good,
Hmm.
thank you. Yeah, that's not a good sign. But
No, no.
they're all cordial with each other. It's not like anyone's like, get away from me, you freak, or something. They're
Right.
just hi, hello. And then the hosts come in last. Like I said, way too much involvement. Someone needs to tell them that it's not about them. They
They're the
come in
stars of
all,
the show.
yeah, all loud, all excited. And I don't know, there seems to be tension on there, but we do get a timestamp that it's been almost a year since the show
Hmm.
has been filmed, which is perfect. That's the kind of timeline that I like. So we start with Parmi and Gorgana. To decipher who's there or not, I don't. What did they do? They were gonna just pick and then pass and say, "Oh, choose this couple." I'm like, again, we know the
I
producers
think
told you.
there wasn't a lot of structure to the opening of this.
No. So Benedetta decides to go with Parmi and Gorgana and calls them the Romeo and Juliet of Love Is Blind. I'm like, y'all realize they died. Like,
There's so many problems with that. Like, number one, okay, yeah, they there was a murder suicide at the end. They were 14. Like, this is not the couple you want to reach for here.
yeah. Yeah, this is true. Also, as a sidebar, if you have the chance to see Anne Juliet on Broadway, go see that. It's like a retelling of Romeo and Juliet with Romeo with a lesser role playing there. It's so good. And my love, my housewife, my candy is also on it right now. But yeah, go check it out.
Hey,
Anyways, um, they romanticize Gorgana saying no because she's all like, "Oh, I appreciate that you left the door open. You told him where to find her." I'm like, "Okay, I saw it differently because I remember being very upset. Like, if you knew that it mattered, why would you just go ahead with it? And then, you knew you were going to say no." But
hmm,
they ask if they're a couple, and Parmy says a lot of
he
words
talks
like
for a long time.
her no created a new path for them. It led to them knowing themselves and knowing their limits better. She was right and she was smart to say no. And Parmi was just going on and on. And Fabio was like, well, what were you going to say at the altar? Because that's true. We never got to see what his answer
Hmm.
was. And Benedetta, okay, playing her role as host, steps in, earns her paycheck, and is like, no, we need to know if you're together or not. You still haven't answered that question.
Right? Let's get to the important part here, man.
And then they say, no, they are not together. But then Fabio asks again, what would your answer have been? And Parmy
Mhm.
says that he would have said no too. And my question, Brian, is, are you surprised that he would have said no too?
I don't believe him. I think he would have said yes. Like, I think he's lying right now. Like, no, I was surprised when she said no. So, like, no, I don't think he was gonna say no. I think that looking back at it a year later, he could probably say, yeah, I probably should have said no. Like,
Yeah.
probably there were too many, and so I'm gonna say I would have said no. I think he would have said yes if they would have asked him first, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I was going to say, I'm surprised. All roads led to, I'm doing this. I want to say yes. And remember, we were confused because Gargano was all like, everyone seems so worried except us. We're fine and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a yes. And which is why I think they made her go first. Well, actually, no. If he was going to say yes, usually they'll make him go first and then whoever's
Yeah,
going to say yes.
so we can see him get heartbroken.
Yeah, so I don't know. But this whole time they're going back and forth because the hosts are talking a lot. And then finally they remember that Gargana is the other half of the couple. And they're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't said anything. And she's like, okay, well, I can speak if y'all. She didn't say that. That's me. But
No.
she says that night of the wedding, she spoke and the distance, the differences, and they recognized that and they saw each other a few more times. And she lived in a different. They were long distance, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Parmy, every time he came to see her, it wasn't solely just to see her, it was in addition to something else. And, for example, he was like, he came to drop his parents off at the airport. I'm assuming the airport that she works at. And then
Probably.
he came to see her and he's like, I'm not an only child, like my brother could have taken our parents. Like I'm choosing to come to the airport to drop them off so I can also see you. So obviously, he's being efficient. That is so
Mm-hmm.
sexy. I will run an errand and come see you. No one wants to hear that. I mean, I'm still mad at Gargana
I'll
for the
see if I can
way
fit you in.
and her, yeah, and her family. But I mean, she has a point here. I know people always think like women are being nitpicky, but it's the little things that show care and it's the little things that just show effort. No one's saying like it doesn't make sense. Yes, you're going to save gas if you're driving and then you can see your girlfriend, but also
Mm-hmm.
that's not special. That's like,
No.
okay, check off the box and I saved a few bucks on gas. It's
Yeah.
not, I'm taking an effort. I'm going out of my way. I'm going to go see you. My attention is solely for you, not split between making sure. If anyone, you know what it is like to get parents. It's like parenting your children when you get to a certain stage in your life. So you have to get them to the airport, make sure they're okay, do the check. Your mind is not in one
Yeah.
place, to think about, oh, are we going to be sexy? No, you're thinking about your parents are okay. And then that exhausts you. So she has a
Yeah.
point,
Well, she does. My issue here, and this comes up with other couples during the reunion as well, I blame the producers for this. Why are we doing Love is Blind countries? We wouldn't do Love is Blind America. It's too fucking big. We wouldn't even do like Love is Blind Midwest. Because like, oh, I live in Milwaukee, you live in Cleveland. Like they're
Mhm.
not close to each other. So like, why are we doing it where we have the possibility of picking people that live 3 and 4 hours apart from each other? There's enough people in Rome. You could do Love is Blind Rome, I bet. That'd be fine.
You say that, but I don't think so. It's like, yes, but there's not enough people who are going to apply to
If
be
we
in
could do
there.
Denver, if we could do
They
Denver,
don't have enough though. That's why it's a shit show because they keep getting people who kind of like the same thing with Seattle where they had to get people from Portland and they're having a
that's
hard
true.
time, getting people
But
even
like,
like from Merida.
people live in Rome. How big is Rome?
They
let
do,
me
but
let me
Brian,
look up the population.
okay, you're in I don't I can't I was trying to remember if you said your location.
Oh, I'm in
You're
the middle of Iowa.
Yeah,
I'm like 10
you're in
minutes
the
north of
middle
Des
of Iowa.
Moines.
Imagine if they did that and like, okay, yeah, maybe there's enough people or whatever, but how many of the people want to be on reality TV? And then how many of the people that want to be on reality TV are meet the criteria? I
Well, see,
just
and I have a counterpoint. The population of the Rome metro is 4 million people. That's bigger than Chicago. You can
oh,
do it in just Rome.
okay.
Like it might be messy. It's messy here. But I'm
Yeah,
just like, we had at least 2 couples that really couldn't make it work because they lived
distance.
really far apart from each
Yeah,
other. And it's just like, yeah, if you're with each other all the time for like 6 weeks during this process, and then you
yeah.
split up and might not see each other for like a month, yeah, it's not gonna work out, man. Like it's gonna fall
Yeah.
apart.
I mean, that's fair, but that's also something they need to find out in the pods where they know that they're apart.
Yes,
So if you're not willing to do that, and like for part of me, I just think it was pretty obvious he's not leaving the restaurant.
he
So
can't.
if you're choosing, and
Like,
I think that's what, yes, he was going to say no, allegedly, but I think my
mhm,
problem with Gargano, well, all these things were outset. You knew he was Indian. You knew your parents were racist. Put the two
yep.
together. Like, why are we even doing this? You knew you can leave your job at the airport. You knew he can leave, but you were like, okay, we'll make it work. Yes, you got swept up in all of that, but it's your responsibility to figure out, like, is that something I'm willing to do or not? Because on the flip side,
Yeah.
we have people who are willing to move and who are willing, to do those things. But I hear your point. I hear your point. Maybe they'll listen to
No,
you, maybe not. But
they won't. But you're right though. They could do that thing. If it's me, I'm like, okay, so I know I don't want to get married to somebody who lives across the country from me. So like if I hear, oh, I live in Philadelphia, I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. All right, well, nice knowing you, but like we're not going to pursue this. It's strange to me. Obviously, we know that Parmy had, like you said, limitations on where he could move and all of that.
mhm,
Cool. He probably could have said, okay, I'm only really interested in somebody who lives within like an hour or a half
mhm.
hour of my restaurant. Then it would have really cut down his choices. But like, if that's important to you and it's going to make or break your marriage, you kind of got to lead with that.
A little part of me wonders if Parmy just went on there really truly for a game show to promote the restaurant, because it's
He
just
might
like
have.
when you list
We
all of
barely
the
saw the
things.
name of the place.
Yeah. When you list all the things, it's kind of like what were you shouldn't have come in at all. And I
Hmm.
think for both of them, I don't know if they're in that phase of life where they really just wanted to be rebellious against their parents, because they both had the things where they don't like this, but they don't want this, but they're like, I can do it. And it's like, again, I've said it before for Parmy, when they say I might not be accepted, what in the world would your first thought be? I'm going to make sure they like me. No, you're not proving yourself to anyone, but it's
Nope.
just a move on type of situation. But here we are,
Mm.
and here they
Yep.
are. She says that she told him she wanted to go on holiday, and he said no. And then Fabio tries to in my opinion, put it on Parmy that, he basically wasn't taking a decisive step, which might be right, and which may be because he just didn't want to.
Hmm.
And Gargana says that they're basically two people who experience life in a completely different way. I wish they explained more.
Yep. What does that mean?
Very open to interpretation, and I came out with
Right.
nothing. And he basically says that they weren't able to recreate the magic of the bubble or the pods, when they were in the
Right.
pods. He says he's always said that if you fight with me, I will fight with you, but that wasn't happening. So it's just crossed wires. She
Yeah.
feels
It's a
like he
bummer.
wasn't really into it, and he's also feeling like she wasn't into it, which, how can you be into it if your parents are not for it? I know her dad said it, but I know her dad was also relieved when they broke up. You can't
Oh
convince me
yeah.
otherwise.
No. I think if you can do this where it's my parents are really unhappy with my relationship and I don't care moving forward, you have to be willing to accept that this might do serious damage to how you and your parents get along and to like
Yeah,
your relationship. And if you're not willing to accept that, I get it. I wouldn't either. But like, then don't date this person. And
yeah.
like, you can't, you're not going to have it both ways. You can't say, yes, my parents are racist and he's Indian, but like, they'll get over it. Like, they probably won't. And if they don't, your husband is going to be taking a lot of the brunt of that. And like, if they do, it's not going to be right away. So you're going to deal with some shit for some time. It just, it's strange to me that this couple decided to move forward
Even
the way
took
that they
off. Yeah.
did.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They
because
should have
they're
just
good
went.
together. I like them, but like outside stuff matters too.
Yeah. There's my other podcast, The Rewatch, we did the Sex in the City, and there was an episode where they paired Carrie, her married friends, um, matched her with somebody or whatever, a blind date. And it wasn't really someone that she got along with, but she's like, I'll give it a chance. I'll go ahead. I'll do it. And my co host was like, she's of that school of thought. And I'm of the school of thought where I'm just like, if we know there's something, like for me, I can't date someone who's like an atheist, and put it that way. And I'm like, why would I want to see what we have in common and all that just to fall in love with you and then realize, oh wait, you don't believe in that? Why would I even move forward, at all? Like
No,
everybody
you're
has their
right.
deal breakers, but it's like, oh, just to see, you never know. And I'm like, I don't want to find out. That's too much work. But I believe that
Yeah.
maybe Gargana was that kind of person, because she did say that Primey just made her feel so comfortable and she was
Hmm.
torn. But at the end of the day, she realized that her relationship with her parents mattered more, and she chose that. Now, that's not to say there might be things that we didn't see, because part of me is on Instagram saying like he's over the show, he doesn't want to talk about the show anymore. There's a lot of editing, yada yada yada, and all that
Sure.
stuff. But I do think she's right that they found out that there was a lot of differences, a lot of things, but there were things that they wouldn't 100% find out, but they would have found out in the pods. I think they
Hmm.
consciously chose to move with the good feelings and not really assess the reality of it all. It was a fun time, and they should have
Yeah.
just taken it a little more seriously. But they just look good, so we're just like, yay, Parmy and Gargana. But
Hmm. They're
they
smiling so much.
they ignored all the things that would have been a hindrance, for them.
Hmm.
But the other part of it, sliding doors, is what if they had said yes and we're committed to the fact that, okay, we're in this marriage and we do have to make it work? What would we have done? But both of them were not, I don't know, making that move
No.
for them.
No.
So she says what okay, she tears up and says like she just wanted him to be there, and he says he was there but she didn't see him. She says she still loves him and he is her home. And the hosts are all, "Oh." At this point,
Hmm.
Benedetta is all over her husband, like she's
She
hanging off
is
him
laying on this man.
at this point. And when they're all on, like, am I watching something different? They can't even get on the same page for certain things, and it just seems so difficult.
Yeah.
Then they asked and they were like, Parmy, like, are you in love with her? And he's like, no,
Mm.
I
Nope.
am not in love. And then she says,
Oh.
what I regret is not asking when it was just us if your feelings have changed. And he's like, how would you know? We don't really talk. And she's
Yeah.
like, I did. She seems so blindsided. She's like, I did not know this is how you felt. So Fabio mentions that Giovanni has been making faces in the back, and I'm like, why? Let's ignore him like everything
Hmm.
else. Like, why? We don't care if he's making faces. He should make his faces because he's making faces so he can get airtime.
Yeah.
And then
You played
Giovanni's,
right into his hands. You're
yeah,
doing what he wants you to do.
yeah. So Giovanni's yapping about the truth, that the truth only matters unless the little stories gets boring, that he's all for Parmy. I'm like, yeah, of course you are. And says once it was over, Gargana forgot about Parmy. And everyone is like, wait, what? Didn't you just
She's
see this girl?
crying right now.
Like she's crying and then all that. And he's like, ugh. Like he took I'm so annoyed. Like I'm so like frustrated with this man
uh,
because it looks like he did not do any introspection and he's just like the same person. And he's like, you took him all the way to the altar and you said no. And I checks notes. What is the premise of the show?
right. No, this was upsetting. It was frustrating. He was talking out of turn. He didn't know what he was talking about. He wanted screen time. He wanted to pick a fight. He wants to be on Traders Italy, and this is his way to get on. And so he is just he showed his ass over and over again in the way that no one else on stage did. Everyone
Yeah.
else up there is being really reasonable.
Yeah.
Like he's just flying off the handle at nothing. To the point that by the end of this, like Parmy and Gargano are holding hands, they're all like hugged up, and it's like, yeah, you drove them together because they care about each other still. He doesn't hate her, she doesn't hate him. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Nobody was chiming in. They were very respectful
Right.
this reunion. No one had anything to say. And like even Giovanni, as silly as he is, he didn't say anything until, Fabio called him out and
Hmm.
asked him a question. But Fabio says that, oh, Giovanni, you called Parmy Plan B. And Parmy is like, listen, I have respect for Gargana. And then they start holding hands. And he's like, we
Hmm.
have a good relationship. And I'm not going to sit here and listen to Giovanni call me a Plan B. And Giovanni's like, well, that's how the world sees it. And then he's like, what? And then he's like, yeah, you said it, not me. And I'm just like, this man is infuriating. But Parmy tells him that they have all come out the pods and moved on, but Giovanni has not. Like he's still in the pods.
Still
And
in the
I'm like,
pods.
what a read.
Yeah,
And
that's a bar.
he's like, no, that you're the ones that are still in the pods. Like you're holding hands. It's all an act. I don't even know what that means. But he goes back to Gargana because if Giovanni's not attacking a woman, he's not going to sleep well at night. So
Right.
he goes back to Gargana and was like, you're a player. You're doing that. This is the man who was crying to Georgia. Like, I hurt her so much. I looked into her eyeballs and it was misty and it was that.
Hmm.
And now
She'll
you come
never get
back
over
on
me.
national TV to do all this. So Fabio, I think, is also getting irritated and is like, why are you belittling everything that they just said? Like, honesty is important. Gargana sat here, shared her feelings, and was honest that she still has feelings for him. And Parmy sat here and was, even though it was the other way around, said like he has no feelings for her and he just feels like that should be respected. And then he tells him that. I will say though, it is weird for Parmy to be like, I'm not in love, I'm not doing anything. But then they close the gap between them. There is no space with this between them as they sit down. His arm
No.
is around her, he's rubbing her back, they're doing all that, and I'm like, okay, like, this is like, are you watching the new Vanderpump Rules? Like Marcus and Kim, like we're going
No, I
backwards,
tried.
backwards.
I couldn't
Okay.
invest.
Okay. But it's like that toxic thing. I'm not saying they're toxic. I'm just saying like the words coming out of your mouth is not reflecting what we're seeing, because it's
Hmm.
one of those things where, yeah, you're in love, but if you're not understanding the communication coming out, what are we doing? Like, how can you tell her
Yeah.
you're not in love with her? You're standing up for her, you're holding her hands, you're rubbing her back. What is she supposed to think?
And I think he had it right at first. Don't if you are not open to rekindling things, don't leave the door open even a crack and just say, "No, I don't have those feelings anymore," and move on.
Yeah.
I think he did the right thing there. I think he would have stuck with that if Giovanni wasn't being a dickhead. And it's like, well, I'm not going to let you like insult this woman who I do care about. She's still a good friend of mine.
They don't
I still
talk,
value
Brian.
her. Well, maybe not, but regardless, I still have a warmth in my heart for
Yeah.
her, even if I don't
Okay.
want to be with her anymore. And
Hmm.
here you are, just like coming at her while she's crying. Like, no, I'm gonna comfort my friend, and I don't like you anyway. I don't think that anybody really liked Giovanni.
Yeah. I mean, hold her hand, but that looked
It's
intimate.
mixed
Looked
signals as
intimate.
hell.
Yes, exactly.
It's going to confuse her,
And I
but
think that's my
I get what
problem.
he was thinking.
Yeah, because she's in love with him. Like,
Mhm.
when someone has feelings for you, then you need to like be careful about the signals that you live. Like the most important question also now is, after the reunion, are you gonna bang though? Are they still sleeping
Right?
together? No one asked that question, because it's like, what is this message here? Are you still, because
Hmm.
clearly they're attracted to each other. And I think they said that. The host was like, oh, I can see the chemistry with you guys. We hope that you guys, I was like, guys, we shouldn't be encouraging this because they didn't solve the problem the last time. Nothing's
No.
going to change. In fact, I think what the hostess said is, maybe one day you work at an airport closer to
Yeah, maybe you'll transfer to like an airport closer. Who knows? I'm just like, God, y'all, like you gotta let this go. Her parents are
but
still racist. Like that's also a
exactly.
problem.
Something that never came up. We closed our chapter without even addressing the racism. That was not
Hmm.
discussed. That was not to what was your. So we're going a whole season without my question being answered. What exactly is the issue of being with someone who is of Indian descent? I would like,
Yeah,
the people would like
we
to know.
didn't talk about that, and we also didn't talk about the way that like Parmy sort of presented it to his family of it's a game show and I met this person. We didn't talk
Yeah.
about any of the family stuff with either parents, and that was a central part of the season. So,
Yeah.
like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Like, even if it's a question is like, if you know that your parents' input was very important to both of you guys, why did you still
Why did you
forge
do
ahead?
this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's keep things surface.
Hmm.
No need to get deep like their relationship, but
At
yeah.
least Chris Paul didn't come out.
Win, one win. All right,
Right.
quick break and we'll be right back.
The Fed's out of options. Rate cuts, money printing, balance sheet reversals. They call it policy, but it's really panic. This is in-game economics, where hope replaces discipline and the illusion of control finally breaks. They're not cutting rates because things are strong. They're cutting because the system is cracking. Inflation's eating savings. The labor market's stalling. Confidence in the dollar is fading fast. For decades, the Fed built a house of paper. Now they're striking the match that could burn it all down, leaving you to pay the price. When's the last time you actually held the wealth you've spent your life working for? My friends at Noble Gold Investments have been helping Americans move from paper wealth into real tangible assets. Numbers on a screen can disappear, but physical gold and silver, they've outlasted every crisis in history. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com and get your free wealth protection kit today. That's noblegoldinvestments.com for your free wealth protection kit. Discover how simple it is to protect your future. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
I love my morning coffee, but sometimes the crash hits harder than the caffeine. That's when I switch to Everyday Dose, coffee with benefits. It's real coffee, infused with mushrooms, collagen, and nootropics, giving me smooth, focused energy that actually lasts. Right now, get 61% off your first Coffee Plus starter kit and over $100 in free gifts. Plus, enter for a chance to win $100 cash or get your entire order refunded. Visit everydaydose.com/podcast or use code podcast at checkout.
After the holidays, there's so much to clean up and get ready for the coming year. This leaves me exhausted and a lot of things falling off my to-do list. It's time to lock in, and Omaha Steaks delivers everything you crave to reset after the holidays. An order from them means having high-quality Omaha steaks on hand at all times. I'm a big meat lover myself, and I always go with medium rare. But there's also plenty of poultry and other options available. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. A family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code YUM at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code YUM. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to www.omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And use promo code YUM at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. Thanks to Omaha Steaks for sponsoring us.
Okay. Our next couple was Ludovica and Davide. Ludovica came out hot. She looked good.
And I know you mentioned before, specifically with European reality shows, they do the glow up before they have the reunion. When they showed her and Gergana before they came out, I'm like, who the fuck are these two people? And I think with Gergana, I don't think that she really had work done. Her hair was very different. And I think that's what it changed the shape of her face, the way that her hair was framed.
And her makeup, because thinking about it, we didn't really see her made up. They didn't do a lot of like heavy makeup during the season. So I think that and she was all just, she cleaned up nice.
She did. She did. And Ludovica, I don't think she got anything done. But like the shot of her when they introduce him, like, who is that? Is this somebody from the Pod Squad I've never seen before? Like, who is this? And I put two and two together, but at first I'm just like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. She had like a share number. She looked good.
She looked great. I'm just like, I didn't recognize her. Once she came out, I'm like, okay, I know who that is. But when they first showed her shot, I'm just like, because they had them like walking down the hall or whatever in the intro, I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Well, Ludovica starts by saying that she feels safe, that he said no, that she had no idea that he was going to say no. I'm surprised that she had no idea. That man was checked out way before.
He came in business casual. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
And that and he agrees that she had no idea, and she was like, he always kept me on my toes. He just never shared with me what he was feeling. They asked him when he decided. He says he decided on the wedding day because he always seems like the bad guy. Like, it was no picnic for him to say no in front of her friends and family. I mean, I can give him that. It cannot be easy to reject someone on national TV in front of their loved ones. Like, that's a lot. He said he grew cold, and not because she didn't do it for him, but because he realized that emotionally they had lost the spark they had at the beginning. And I'm like, one-sided, you'd lost it. She was still willing,
she was aggressively trying.
So don't say that.
Right.
Thankfully they bring up the house keys fight, because I was like, if we don't mention this is going to be crazy. And Ludovic is asking him, like, okay, did you sleep together before or during the program? And he says before. And Ludovic is like, don't lie. Everybody knows that you were sleeping with her during the program. Although I'm like, when do you have time? Because to my knowledge, like, production is like, there's a sheet, there's a time, there's a schedule. You have to do all this. But the man was always tired. So I don't know. I don't know when or if he's even right. Because, if
maybe that's why he was always tired.
He's on 100. She's going to believe her own stories. So Karen says that in Milan, she went to buy groceries and she saw Davide, and he said hello. They had a chat, and it was a chat that she never told Ludovica about because he used hurtful words. And I'm torn. Like, I'm a little torn, because I'm like, if you never shared it with her, is now the best time in front of everyone to share?
It is not. And also, if my partner is saying hurtful words about me, that is when you need to come to me. It's not like, oh, it would hurt him to know what his wife said about him, so I'm just going to shut up. But no, man, I need to know
before I go to walk down the aisle. So
of course,
was very she was so, sorry, I never mentioned it to you. I'm like, what? You're my enemy. Back away from me. So he told her, Davide told Karen why he wasn't having sex with her, and it was because he didn't like her looks, which is insane. And I've said this
Right.
before that I think Ludovica is hot as all get all. But when she got home, she told Nicola about it, and Nicola did tell her that he is seeing someone else. And he
He's like, well,
knows
he's got a girlfriend, so.
yeah, he didn't want to get involved, so she didn't say anything. And I'm like, and you did not tell your girl that he had a girlfriend? You just let
Right.
her walk down the aisle ready to say yes? Like,
Well, Tane, he said hurtful words, so you can't. The whole conversation is off the record now. It's stricken from the record. Never
so,
happened.
yeah. So he said that. And then I think Nicola looked a little uncomfortable, but then Karen whispers, everyone knew. Like, you don't have to feel like. And I'm
Right.
like, wait, so everyone knew and no one said it?
Everyone
This is
knew.
worse.
Right.
This
Like,
is
what?
worse.
How did this not get brought up when you guys had the mixer and everyone's all together? Like, this is the moment where you say, hey, you know your man's fucking like 3 other women right now, right? Like, not you? Like,
Fabio asked Davide, were you emotionally free to come on this show? And he was like, yeah, I saw her occasionally. And Fabio was like, occasionally doesn't mean that you were free. Were you or were you not free? So he just pivots. And Ludovica is like, listen, you have verbally abused me and belittled me. And even when you wouldn't have sex with me, I was still willing to go ahead because I'm a fool. And Davide is like, oh, you're such a saint, and starts being
yeah.
combative and saying like it's not like she herself never thought she was right because he was like playing against her insecurity. And I'm like, it's just icky. I don't know. Again,
Yeah.
was it? I think we talked about this new wave of reality show men who are just fighting back.
Yeah,
Like-
just be a dick no matter what is said about you. Just go out there and be Andre from 90 Day Fiance.
Like, it's not even making sense. That's the funny part. The counterpoints are not making sense. You're just
No.
yelling to yell and to like, I'm not gonna be quiet. I'm gonna say my piece, but your piece is trash.
Yeah, you're in a rush to invalidate. That's all it says.
Yes, exactly. So she's trying to, defend and talk back, and he's like, can I talk? You talk the whole time. I have to talk. And I'm like, wow, chivalry is not dead. And then he says, she's the female version of me. And she's like, no, I'm not. Don't say that. It's not a compliment.
Right.
And
Right,
he
I don't want to do
says
that.
and then from nowhere, I don't know where this came from. He's yapping, and then he's like, well, I'm also here to ask if we can resume our relationship. And someone was like,
Right.
as friends? He's like, of course, as friends. I was like, you've got to clarify, because what? He sounds like,
Why would she even say yes to that?
Yeah,
Like, she doesn't like
exactly.
you, man.
Exactly. He's like, I feel happy that she's dumped this on me, that, she's talking and she wants to vent somewhere else. And if it has to be me, that's fine. I'm like, what is this? And she starts talking, and he cuts her off again and says, I'm apologizing. I'm like, what? So
Look, man, Neapolitans, what could be said?
so that was it. And I think maybe they took too much time because they spent a lot of time with Parmi and Gargana. I checked it. It was like 15 minutes. And I'm like, we got other couples left. What's going to happen here? So,
Right? Honest to God, I don't even know what Eliza said. I don't know if she said a word the whole time.
So Benedetta decides to talk to Ludovica and says she just remembers her when she was not being confident, but now she's a tiger and she's unafraid, and that she does appreciate that Davide wants to apologize. I'm like, we are bare minimum in here. Like, we're not, this apology comes with aggression. So I don't know. And,
Exactly.
she tells Ludovica, like, never think that it's your fault when things end because you're wonderful. But she starts tearing up, and Ludovica says, I still think it's me because I'm the common denominator and I'm always choosing the wrong person. And then we see Davide sigh when she says that. He's like, ugh. And I'm
Yep.
like, man, this men are terrible.
Truly.
Say terrible. But yeah, she's sighing, but I hope she takes the words. She takes them in, which I don't think, because this is a year later and she still, is affected by all of this. But I was interested in the fact that Nicola was not involved in this conversation. Nicola was the third wheel. Nicola was so convinced that she was in love with him and all this stuff. So what are we missing?
Wasn't even discussed. Wasn't even talked about. Where it's like, oh, she's thinking about me every single night up until last night. Never saw that clip. Would have been cool to see that talked about.
Yeah. So I don't know. This was like a checkmark reunion. It's like, listen, we're not gonna get answers that you need, but we got a reunion done and just be happy with that. So
yeah, we got Giovanni yelling at people. That should be enough.
Yeah. All right. Taking a quick break and we'll be right back. Okay. Hayoni and Alessandro. Fabio, listen, the way they pivot on this reunion was something so funny because you never knew what they were going to say or do. But we're talking about Davide and Ludovica, and it's like she's tearing up, and you're like, chin up, you be all right. And then Fabio's like, listen, I need some tender stories. I need stories that's going to make me feel good. And then Benedetta starts like massaging Alessandro across
Mhm.
the couch.
Yep.
Wait.
I'm not sure what's going on.
I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're affectionate and that's okay too. I'm just trying to imagine Vanessa just leaning over and just like
Right.
whoever's over there just massaging their arm affectionately.
Well, and I will say, not for nothing, when he got caught up in his sexual harassment scandal, Mario Cuomo did say, well, it's okay, I'm Italian. So, like, that was his defense when he was bounced out of being the mayor of New York. Yeah, I'm handsy, I'm Italian, that's how we all do. I'm like, no, you're at work. Like, it's not right.
And yeah, listen, I'm not taking away the fact that it might be a cultural thing. Like maybe it is. It's just like with my American eyes looking at it, my first thought was like, oh gosh. But I don't think she meant anything like
I don't think so. Her
untoward
husband's
or
right
any.
there.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think she meant anything untoward. I'm just saying like it's just like not common practice, over here. Like
Yeah.
again,
It was surprising.
imagine Nick just so yeah. But anyways, they asked them if they're married. They don't waste any time. Unlike Parmy, they confirm that they're still married, and I'm like, oh my god, thank God.
Thank
They
God.
play a
Jeez.
video of their wedding day because after it was kind of like Love Is Blind Habibi, where after you say your vows, you then have to go to a separate room and then I guess make it official. So we see that video. They're so teary eyed. They can't stop kissing each other. Hayoni can't stop calling him baby, and she starts crying again. And then Benedetta is like, let's give her a minute to get herself together. And while we do that, we're just going to show a video of their life after the wedding and their marriage in the last year. And it was so cool.
Yeah.
They went
It's
to
very sweet.
Egypt. They went to see her parents in Korea, and they had all the rebuilding, renovating his house because allegedly she's allergic to dust. I thought everyone was
dust.
allergic to dust. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think we
know
are.
if it's the
I think you're supposed to
translation.
be.
I'm like, what? You just live with dust for fun?
I wonder if she has like a serious like allergic reaction where her throat closes up or something like that. Because like, yeah, we all sneeze if there's dust around.
Maybe she's asthmatic. I don't know, something like
Could be.
that. But yeah, and the translation just didn't get that. But either way, it just seems fun. Fabio says like, when they travel, like she makes slides. He learned that about her. But their bump was not about peeing this time. They were like the bump was basically like Alessandro wanting to wait to move in. She really wanted to move in, but she's saying it in the fact like she wasn't sure if she wanted to move in because that was the expectations from everyone, her parents, her friends, and all of that. But he said that he wanted to wait. Do you remember why? He just wanted
No,
to
and
keep
he didn't really
going.
explain
Didn't he
it.
say- Yeah, okay.
No, he's just like, yeah, we had like one or two huge fights every day. I'm like, so stop. Like, do what she wants you to do.
So Benedetta chimes in once again and is like, I just love how you guys kept trying for your marriage. And Yoni says you only start loving someone when you see their flaws and you love deeply after that. And once again, with my American eyes, Fabio just jumps in this like, when everyone says are you gonna get married, the next thing is when are you gonna have a baby? We're gonna have
Jesus.
a Korean Varsinian baby, gonna be so cute. And I'm like, clearly they have not watched the US version, or it does not matter.
Right. I stop asking people this. Like, quit it. You could knock it off.
Yeah, they really need to. But yeah, they didn't have much, honestly. They're just really happy. And yet, even though they were on stage with all of the people in the reunion, it still felt like they're in a different show. It just did. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, because
again,
they're happy. Because they're doing good.
yeah. And like I told you, legend has it that Alessandro is still smiling. He really is still smiling.
Yeah.
So
He was smiling in that gigantic Korean getup that I'm sure they had to make custom make for him, as big as he is, and like try to get the sword out. Like he was having a fun time, no matter what they were doing. He did say that they had sex in the desert under the stars, and my first thought was like, what did you put down under you first? Was it a blanket? Are you in a tent? Sand is a problem. There's not going to be any firm structure to push against. Like, what are we doing here exactly?
The sand is the problem. The sand is the
Sand
problem.
Sand is the problem.
Goes
Like,
everywhere.
every damn I thought about it and was like, oh, the grit, the exfoliation. I didn't like any of it.
Yeah. Hey, they got their experience under the stars.
Yeah, they had a good time with it. Good for them. Couldn't be me.
All right, Alessandro and Eliza. She says, unlike she specifically names names. Unlike Ali and Hayoni, we weren't willing to face our issues and do something about it. She says she cares about him, but they've moved past it. I guess they've had a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And she just said there was a moment where she felt uncomfortable living with him, and there were just times that they felt frightened. And I'm like, it got to be the translation that's making it worse than it is. Because I think what she just means is their communication was not good and they just were not understanding each other and it just felt like walking on eggshells. That's my
Yeah.
translation and I'm sticking to that.
That's also what I was thinking. I don't think she was like, I was afraid he was going to like bust my lip.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the case.
Yeah, because I'm like, this does not sound good. But yeah.
No.
Fabio asked if they realized right away that they were incompatible. I don't know. Alessandro went off on a tangent. It's like, oh, yeah, we could have fixed it, but we're like in two different realities. And he just feels like they should find someone that's similar. And then Eliza is like, no, he didn't appreciate, like, I introduced him to my friends, my dogs, my that. And he didn't just appreciate all the things that I did. Alessandro's like, I didn't have time. Like, I'm not from here. Like, I didn't get to do that. And then they start bickering and going back and forth. And I kid you not, guys. Benedetta just applauds and like, all right, before our firecrackers go on, let's move on. Thank you. And then that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
It's like, oh, they're fighting in this. Get out of here. Just like, let them fight. That's what the reunion's for.
I literally have like just like 6 bullet points for them. That was it. I would have been so pissed.
Like I said, I don't know what she said. I was just like, I saw most of my thoughts for her was I feel bad they have her sit next to Giovanni. Because she was leaning so far away from him the whole time.
Yeah, she was leaning so far. But I did see like a Instagram video where she, Giovanni, and someone else were in a video. So I don't know if maybe she's the only one willing to talk to him and sit beside him. So that was it.
Gross.
But yeah, I mean, they got 5 minutes because so Giovanni and Giorgio are they're the last. Oh no, we have Nicola and Karen. So Giovanni and Giorgio, we get there. So she said she just wanted to give it a chance, despite what everyone else was saying about it. And she describes him as a walking discomfort with shoes. I
mean, she had some bars for this man. She had some pre-made. She came ready.
Giovanni is bad Skechers. So he proved she said he proved everything that she was feeling. Like she had a feeling while she was in the pods, but she was just like, you know what? I'm still going to try. And she said he proved everything, if not worse. And he completely painted a different picture than what he was in the pods. He said, like, I showed you my world, a world that was rich and full. You never shared anything about your world. And then he basically like berates her and she just sits there and watches him. It's almost like she had a blank gaze at him.
Yeah.
And he's bringing up this dream that he wanted to do this. And she's like, here we go with this dream again. And he's like, it was so hard to choose you. And she's like, you sold me a dream that wasn't true. And that's what he said. And I'm like, Giovanni, why are you like this? Why did you not learn anything? And why didn't they ask him, was there anything you didn't like as you watched yourself?
Right. How do you feel like you came across? Is an easy question. They're gonna deflect and say, oh, editing, whatever. We have to ask that question.
Yeah.
I think with him, the first thing with him, well, I showed you my whole world. And like, yeah, and she kicked ass at it. Your friends like her more than they like you. So don't come with, oh, I showed you my world. Yeah, she didn't show you your world because you're embarrassing. Yeah. You are an embarrassment. So she could not bring you around. That's what happened.
You're doing everything not to show her that you're interested in her and she's supposed to just open her world to you. Come on now, make it make sense.
Yeah,
so
dumb.
He's yelling and being all passionate and she's like, look at him being absurd as usual about everything.
Yep.
She says she arranged everything, but she wasn't bringing someone like him to her home and she just kept at it till she couldn't anymore. And they asked what, drew the line. And she's like, the line was that she realized that he was a selfish person and that he's self-absorbed. And that would have been a good time to share that. Gargano also said the same thing and then play a montage of him just being selfish and being self-absorbed. She says, Giovanni is like a museum. And inside it has heirlooms And he can tell stories of everyone else, but he has nothing of his own. And he just puts up a
Bars.
act. I'm like,
Yes. She said there's nothing about him that's
yikes.
authentic. I'm like, oh my God.
And she says,
Whew.
you just sit there in your little suit and you would have fit in the 1800s, but as a jester. Yes,
You'd
girl.
be the court jester. I'm
Yes,
sorry it's
girl.
not the 1800s. Just like she came and tore this man to shreds. And all I could do was yell at her. I'm like, no, you can't just scream and win this argument. She's calmly eating your lunch right now.
And you could tell he was so mad. And then he's like,
Oh,
what can I
yeah.
pull? What can I pull? And he's like, okay, you came in here and you know how I feel. And then you told my friends that you don't believe in marriage. And then Fabio's like, okay, but then I have a question. Why'd you sleep on the sofa? I'm like, good
Right.
pivot. We need to ask
Right.
that question. Then he goes, yeah, okay. A big part of sexuality is complicity. I'm like, that doesn't sound, it's like being submissive. Like, what?
Right.
And he was
Giving
like,
my wife giving in is what I'm after. What?
yeah.
Like, ugh.
He's like, it has to be fun, it has to be light, but she always made it seem like a duty. Like we sat there in our pajamas on the first day, we lay there, and then it was, I'm like, sir, are you 5? Have you had any relations with any woman? Like, what are you even saying? You were together,
He
you
wants
were
production.
engaged, and she's attracted to you. She wants some physicality. Again, not saying you have to, but to say like it was like a duty, I don't think so
Mhm.
because one, Alessandro B is laughing at this point. This is Yoni's husband. But I also
Yeah.
didn't see Georgia pressure him. In fact, she was like, if he doesn't want to have sex, that's fine. We're gonna see all that. So how was it like a duty? She was just saying, like, hey, it'll be nice. Like if you're down, I'm down. So
I think he really expected her to like come out in some kind of a costume with like music and like I don't know sparklers and shit. Like he wanted it sounds like he wanted every time that they got romantic for it to be like a big scene where there's like you're going over the top to do I'm like that's man, you're not 16. Dude, like
yeah.
you're grown, you got gray in your hair. We stop. A regular healthy sex life is totally fine. You don't need bells and whistles and a whole parade to walk through in the middle of it. Just have a regular sex life and be fine.
Yeah, if they were actually getting along, they would have to have a role play budget because
For
there would
real.
be a lot of things that would need to
The
be
costume and probably wig budget
yeah.
would be off the charts.
His suit, since he wants to be all covered up all the time. He again, like
Mm-hmm.
Gino, he looks like he would need to have clothes on to have sex because
Oh,
I'm never
yeah.
getting over that pool where he came in button down, long sleeve,
full clothes.
full clothes,
The
and a
sun would have chipped through
towel,
the clothes.
and a towel too, on
And a
top of
towel.
everything else. So
Ugh, I hate this guy.
anyways, they asked, like, so did you play along? And because he said he wanted it to be like a game, I think he was saying he wanted it to be like a seduction. And then Fabio was
Mhm.
like, okay, did he play? And Georgia's like, look at him. No, like, what do you
Of course not. What do you think?
think? And she's like, who said this? It takes courage being him. And oh yeah, she said that. I
Yeah.
think there was a whole bunch of subtext here that I just with the
Mhm.
translation and everything, it was a lot. And he's like, you have some courage to say that. And he was basically like, Georgia, you don't want to go there. What are you saying? Fabio
Yep.
mentions how Giovanni fought with everyone. And then they bring up Frederica. But wait, I want to go back because that fight was interesting where she just kept saying, you have some courage. I'm not going to say that. What are you saying? I can't remember what he was saying, but how did you interpret that?
There's two ways.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it felt kind of like, okay, look, we know that I've got a lot that I could say about you right now that I'm not. And
Yeah.
like, if you want to keep pushing, I will, but like, I don't want to. I think the other subtext could be, look, man, we all know that you're not strictly only into women. And I could bring that up. And like,
Yeah.
I'm not. If you want to push, I will. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, you have a lot of nerve to accuse me of that, was essentially what the subtext
Yeah.
was for me.
Yes.
I don't know that I believe that. I just think he's like an asshole. Like I don't think he's gay. I think he's like a dick.
Yeah, I mean, that's goes without saying that he's an asshole, but that was how I took it. It felt like she was attacking his sexuality,
Yeah.
just towing the line without actually saying it and saying, like, why are we wasting everybody's time? Like, you are not interested in having sex with me or anybody else for that matter. So why are
Yeah.
you putting on this big act to do that? But I think they ventured away from that. I mean, I guess rightfully so before it got any uglier
Yeah.
in that regard. But then they bring out Frederica, and she says that as soon as they got their phones back, he reached out to her. She said yes. They went out to dinner, and then they kissed outside her house. This man is repulsed at the fact that he
Lost
might
his
have
mind.
kissed this woman, and is like, that is not true. And basically, this is a coalition of rejected women, and I was not interested in her. And I'm like, coming right after Georgia is kind of attacking his sexuality, it's not funny, but it was just like the juxtaposition of just back to back of that. And he's like, how dare
I
you?
did not kiss a woman.
Yeah, like, why would you say I did that? It just sounded like to him, it was the most disgusting thing ever. Like, why would I even, like, I'm like, it's just a kiss. Like
It's
when
a
it comes
kiss.
to kissing, like, people sometimes just kiss people that, oh, let's just see how it goes. It's not a big deal. At least for me, it's not a big deal.
No.
So the way he reacted was kind of like, geez. And I'm just like, would Frederica lie about a kiss? I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want to
With
admit
him,
that I
no.
kissed to Giovanni. Exactly. So
You're not some
why would I
prize
say
to be
that out?
won. No.
So,
It was weird because it was like you're being accused of kissing a woman you obviously found attractive enough to give her a call the second you get out of the pods, take her on a date, enjoy the date, and then go out with her the very next day. And I'm supposed to be like, but of course you wouldn't kiss her. Like, why would it seems pretty logical that that's
yeah,
what you'd be doing. I'm surprised you guys didn't have sex.
yeah. So it was just such a weird reaction and a weird thing. And Frederica asks Georgia and says, like, oh, I'd like to be friends with you. I thought that was odd. I don't know
Yeah.
why you would want to be friends. Like, it's just,
No,
it's
it's
okay.
very
You don't have to be
strange.
friends with everybody. Just move on. Giovanni, they give him what he wants again because they play a clip of all his pod talk and how he was just allegedly charming. He would have been so annoying to me. But just,
And so many of them were like laughing at him, just
yeah.
laughing directly at whatever he was saying.
And he's laughing at himself too. He's so proud of himself. When
Yeah,
we
I
see
think
the
he's
input.
laughing because, like, man, I look great. And
Yes.
the women were laughing like, this motherfucker just said hot air balloon. Like, what are we talking about?
I'm telling you, it's a Tom Sandoval. So
Yep.
they ask him, they ask Georgia, she says she's in a relationship with a great man. They ask Giovanni, has he found his castle? Did he find a lady? And has he been on the hot air balloon? And he's like, yes, yes, yes. And Georgia is like, he's a liar. And I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. You're,
No, you haven't.
You're not, you haven't. You're just not going to be outdone. So
Mm-mm.
he would have, if he was in a relationship with someone, that would have been the first thing he would have said. He would not let us hear the last of it.
He would have brought pictures to show us. Like, come on.
Written a poem about it.
Of course.
So.
Several sonnets.
Okay, our final couple is Nicola and Karen. They said that after they had their wedding, they had to wait for a document in the Brazilian embassy to make their marriage official. I wondered what that was.
I don't know. I don't know if it's some kind of visa related. I have no idea.
Yeah, but why would a visa matter? Yeah, it was just interesting.
But
But
I think she lives there, so it's not like she's here on like a visitor's visa. I think she's been there for a long time, so I don't really know.
Yeah, like most things on this show, it was unclear. And who are you?
I guess
to want
what
clarity?
if? Yeah, it could be that, like, okay, this sounds dumb because, like, why wouldn't you have this? What if she, like, doesn't have her birth certificate and had to get it, like, sent from the hospital in Brazil to the embassy or something like that?
Okay, that doesn't sound dumb actually.
I mean, you should probably
But
have
then,
it.
but then it's like, yeah. But then it's like, why wouldn't we just say that? Okay, that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess a document sounds better than
You need
all
something,
that.
some
Okay.
kind of proof of who you are or whatever. Maybe.
Okay, yeah. But unfortunately, after the wedding, he was in Milan and she was in Rome. But also, I think my interest in the document was like, does that mean that their marriage was never official? That's really where
might.
I was coming from, was like, so did they ever get it? They said they had to wait, but did they ever
Yeah.
come? Is it ever official? Are they legally married, or are they
And
just
it sounds like things fell apart while they were waiting, so
honestly?
it might not ever become official.
Yeah, and if that's the case, they got it best because then you get separated without having a divorce on your record, but you still got
Exactly.
a wedding, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when he was coming to visit, she got a hotel. He told her don't book anything fancy, but she did, and they fought about that. And from
Mhm.
her point of view, she felt like he felt belittled from a financial point of view. I'm like, Nicola, I thought you learned your lesson. Are we still getting mad at things like this? And then during that fight, he said some, say it with me, everyone, hurtful things
Some
that we
hurtful,
never
harsh
know.
words. We'll
We
never know
never
what he
know
called
what
her.
these things are. But that she really loved him. But after the fight, she was expecting a call to apologize, but he didn't. And it was hard. And, telling her son that he wasn't coming was even harder for her. And then that was
Yeah.
it. He says, well, I misunderstood her and I thought she was saying she expected something financially. And I'm like, at this stage,
We're
I
still
don't,
misunderstanding what we mean about money. Like, really?
yeah. I don't understand.
Hey.
And then why are we being so sensitive? Like, I don't know why these people come in these shows, but don't give themselves grace to get to understand each other, but then are also willing to think the worst. Like, those
Mm-hmm.
are two awful things to put together for a
Mm-hmm.
situation like this. So she is very hell bent on the fact that he never apologized. And is it worse because this is the thing that broke you? It's hard for me to wrap my head around.
Yeah, I don't understand. Because, like, if I'm him and I'm doing it, sounds like he did a lot to try to like win her back, whether it was connecting or not. He was making some kind of gestures and efforts and whatever. How do you do all that and not say, hey, I'm sorry, by the way, for all those things that I said to you? Like, you have to lead with that. And it sounds like he skipped that part and went right to like, let's reconcile, let's work this out. And it's like, you have to at least own up to your part of things before you get to that part.
Yeah, I'm take it back a little bit. So because she said he never apologized, she said they shared some words 1 week after the wedding, and then apparently he was filming himself, and I want to know how this came about
Yeah.
because we have a timeline chronologically of how everything went. So in two
Mhm.
months after he tried to talk, she refused to talk. We don't get translation for their text. They're showing us pop
Oh, we did on the US one. I didn't write
Oh,
down what they said, but it was what you would expect. It was a lot of like, I really want us to work this out. We had a good thing. I still care about you. It was all the stuff you would expect to hear.
okay.
Um, very, very like boilerplate type. I'm
Okay.
trying to get you back type stuff.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, how am I supposed to know why are we doing this when I have no idea what he was saying? I'm not gonna whip out like my
Yeah.
Google Translate or something right
Well,
now.
and I
But
speak Spanish, and like there's some overlap. So I'm like, I'm picking up like 25% of what he's saying, but
okay.
like I need these captions.
Okay. Okay, cool. So 4 months later, he's like, I'm really missing her. I really want her in my life. 6 months later, he's like, listen, I'm going back to regular life. She's very firm. It's a no for her, dog. And
Mm-hmm.
after trying, it was so hard. It is what it is. And then she's like, all you had to do was pick up the phone and say these things. And I am still confused about both of it. Yes, he should have just said yes, but it's just, I guess it is possible. But how do you beg someone back to your point and not say sorry? Like, I don't get
It's
that.
weird.
And then was
It's weird.
she also saying, all I need is an apology? Or it's one of those things where it's like, nope, you got to come to this on your own. And I'm not going to tell you, what to
Yeah.
say. And it's also like, if you really deeply love this person, why is no one saying out loud what you need? Like, it's like you're testing the
Exactly.
person.
That's
And
what
we
it
all
is.
know that
Yes.
Nicola has been being emotionally stunted from jump. So
Yeah.
it's,
No,
if
you
you're agreeing,
you can't have a requirement of what you need from somebody and then not communicate that to them and then punish them because they didn't give you what they didn't know that you needed. So
yeah.
like, I get why she wants an apology. I would
Yeah,
too.
of course.
But if that's all this takes, tell him that and then like see if you can accept the apology that he delivers after that or not.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You should not be telling a grown man like you should apologize when you do
Mm-mm.
something. Even a kid knows, to do that. But it's also if you really love this man, like you claim, like you said, really madly, truly, deeply, Savage Garden. But you should have just
Mm-hmm.
you should have just said that so that we can speed things along. But also him
Yeah.
not doing it. But he does say that he wants to show that he's a man, but he ends up being less of a man, and he really should have apologized. And then he does so. He says that his feelings are unchanged, that she's the one. I was like, how is
Mm-hmm.
she the one, but you can't apologize? Like, instinctively, why is it not telling you to apologize to her? Like, it's all
Well,
so
well,
strange.
then Benedetta chimes in. She's like, listen, I had never said I apologize for anything in my entire life. And then Fabio told me to say it and I did it. Now look at our marriage. And I'm just like, what do you mean you've never apologized for anything before? It changed my life, she said. I'm just like, saying sorry? Yeah, I guess if you never said it, it would change your life if you start saying it.
I guess it's a thing. Maybe it is a
Yeah,
thing.
it worked for Libby and Andre. He said sorry, and all of a sudden their marriage is great now. So,
But Benedetta says like, "Hey, Karen, your body language isn't saying no like your words." And she's like, "Yeah, I do like him. I want him to be in my life forever." He kisses her on her cheek and all that. And I'm like, guys, what?
it was weird.
Again, is this a culture thing that I'm missing? Because with Parmi and Gargana, and then now with Nicola and Karen, like you loved each other so much that for a year, and then in that whole year, also what I want to know: are we dating? What are the rules? Are we married?
Right.
Are we single? Am I winning you
Mhm.
back? Like if you find out that I hooked up with someone, are you mad when you clearly said I want nothing to do with you?
Right.
What are the rules? No one tells
You guys
us.
live 3 hours apart. I have no idea. Is this an area
Yeah.
codes thing? Like, I don't know how any of this works.
Yeah. And also, no word in the whole Ludovica thing, because that was a whole thing about their
Didn't
relationship.
get discussed.
So, yeah.
Not talked about once.
Yeah. So, that was the reunion. That was it. And I'm like, oh, we're done? Okay, cool. Also, yay.
Yeah, we did it. This was a weird season. It was the drama was very high, and there was
Yeah.
also a lot of just like flat moments.
Yeah. But we got through it. So, that was it, guys. Nothing else. Do you have any last words or?
No, I was trying to think if I could say something in Italian. I don't have anything good to say in Italian, so I got nothing.
Well, you can share with people where they can find you.
Yeah, there you go. So I host Maths Virgin. We are currently covering the Houston season of Maths. We are through, I think we did, is it 5.5 hours of the show so far? And we're still on the wedding nights. So we're feeling the pace. The pace is a lot slower, but it's going to pick up. And so if you guys have seen the Houston season or not, it's great. It's a fun season to watch. Go ahead and pick up on that and join us. You can also follow us on Instagram and Threads at Maths Virgin and join our Facebook group, the Maths Virgin Fan Club. We do memes in there, and also we have like general reality TV discussion in there too. So if there's other shows you want to talk about, you can talk about them in there.
All right. And before we sign off, Brian, I do want to say publicly, thank you so much for all year, all the episodes, all the laughs. It's been great.
Thanks for having me on. No, I talk about reality TV all the time, and there's very little overlap in the shows I watch with my wife. So it's nice to have someone else talk about a lot of these shows with.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, guys, we'll be back next year with more of the shows. We got a whole bunch of shows that are coming out next year, and I'm so excited for them. You know where to find me, Alto Call MAFS. I love interacting and hearing your comments, so send it over. Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, X. If you want to send me an email at gmail.com, and give me a 5-star rating if you're so inclined on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Happy holidays, everyone, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye, guys.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.